Hi, my name is Carolyn Hammond. I'm a senior and I'm doing my final project on high dynamic range images. A high dynamic range image has good contrast and it maintains details of the image with a single exposure, similarly to how we view the world through our eyes. So I used these 16 low dynamic range images, which were all taken with varying exposures, and the goal of this project is to combine these images in different ways to create an HDR image using naive methods and one advanced method. My first naive method was simple averaging, so it normalizes each pixel in each LDR image with respect to that image's exposure, and then averages all 16 images together to create a single HDR image, and the result of this is very poor and there is not enough detail. The second naive method is weighted averaging. It is very similar to the first method, except the averaging and normalization occurs after removing the top and bottom 10% of pixel values in each image, which prevents from using under and overexposed pixels. And the method is slightly better, but the quality is still very poor. For the third method, I used median values. So I removed the top and bottom 10% of pixels from each image. And then for each image location across the 16 images, I chose the median pixel, normalized it with respect to the exposure at that location, and then combined the different normalized pixels at each location to create a single HDR image. And the result is much better, but it is still a little bit too dark and there's still not enough detail. For the fourth naive method, I used the highest non-saturated values, so I chose the highest pixel less than 80% of 255 for each pixel location across the 16 images, and then normalized that pixel with respect to the exposure in that image. And the results are much better here. The colors are bright, but they are not oversaturated, and the detail looks good. So for the advanced method, the first part is using a response function for each pixel. And my response function was gsolve, which I got from Debevec's paper from the assignment prompt. And it returns the log exposure and log film irradiance at each pixel location across the 16 images. And so the goal of using this function is to get the real world radiance values for each pixel so I can then create the HDR image. And the plot of the response function is right here with log exposure on the bottom and then pixel value 0 through 255. So the second part of the advanced method is recovering the HDR image. I used this equation number 6 down here to get the pixel values for the HDR image. And so I have a few different variables in this equation. P is the number of LDR images, which is 16. G is the response function gsolve. Zij is the pixel value at location I in image J. Delta Tj is the exposure time for the image J, and then W is this weighting function number 4 right here. And so I used these different variables to solve for EI for each color channel. So I used this equation for each color channel, and then I combined the results of those to create a single HDR image. And this is the result of that. It is pretty high quality. It has good saturation and good detail. So my biggest challenge in this project was using gsolve and the equation number 6 right here from Debevec's paper. They were a little tedious to write in MATLAB. And my conclusion is that using the advanced method yields the best results, but using non-saturated values is also acceptable right here. All right, thank you for watching my presentation.